We are ready to rumble, right?
Rumble.
Okay, so we've got Marcia Fritz, the president for the California Foundation for Fiscal Responsibility, David Miller, the president for the California Association of Professional Scientists. Let's start. Okay. Marcia, why are you for pension reform?
We have to do something because it's unsustainable. If we don't do something now, and I'm not talking 5 years, take our time and kind of look at it any longer. If we don't do something now, we're going to be exactly in the position that Greece is right now, with our debts are overwhelming us.
So can you argue with that, the fact that we don't have the money to do this anymore?
We are, as public employees, I represent the scientists that work for state government, and I'm a professional scientist and a volunteer here myself. There are reforms that need to happen, but the Pew study and others have really overblown the significance and the size of the problem. The pension costs for state government are less than 3% of the state budget. They're lower as a percentage than they were in the 80s. And what people often don't mention is that almost 80% of the cost is provided by the employee contributions and the investment returns that have been very, very good over the long haul, much better than market returns. And that's why our system is sustainable and will continue to be the best way to provide benefits for public employees.
So
we've changed the retirement formulas. We've changed the contributions. My members, the professional scientists, along with 300 other or so unions in various state and local districts, have negotiated increased contributions. In the case of scientists, we're paying 30 to 40% more into our retirement system than we were previously, and we've advocated anti-spiking, and that's one of the real keys, is to prevent the spiking, the more excessive kind of pensions that we see out there.
Yeah, the problem is your concessions are only as good as a labor contract. As soon as it expires, you can easily go back to the bargaining table without anybody looking behind closed doors and renegotiate to lower your contributions. What Governor Brown wants to do is put it in statute. And also what you've done at the state level has not been done in our cities and our counties and our local agencies. They're the ones that are hurting. They're the ones with firefighters and cops that are making 100% when they retire of their final year's wage for the rest of their life, and they're retiring in their 50s. Those are the costs that we can't afford.
Our contracts do go into statute. They are subject to ratification by the legislature. Nothing is done that is not put right out for the public and the legislature to see. And so this idea that what Governor Brown's doing is in statute and what we do at bargaining is not in statute is just simply wrong.
The unions are strangleholding the legislature and not allowing them to pass what Governor Brown wants, which the people want.
Well,
you've got a stranglehold, according to her?
No stranglehold. In fact, the legislature has gone along with Governor Schwarzenegger and Governor Brown and supported furloughing public workers, and the legislature has not been friendly to our interests. I think the bigger question is, how have we gotten to a situation where the economic meltdown that was a result of corporate greed, financial services industry, and suddenly we've gone from now scapegoating public employees who are a tiny part of the budget, and now all of a sudden the heroes of 9/11 have gone to becoming the scapegoats and the goats. Firefighters, police, public health nurses, scientists, hazmat specialists. Now we're being blamed, and that's not the case. The system is sustainable. It's the best way to provide those benefits. And those examples of the egregious, the city of Bell, these are executives. They're political appointees. They're elected officials. These are not rank and file scientists or nurses.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree. We're putting 45% of wages aside for pensions for our firefighters and our police officers. I don't think that's a heroic thing to do. We can't afford it.
All right, David Miller, Marcia Fritz, good discussion. Thank you both for joining us.